Donna, do you ever have information, maybe you've gotten a spreadsheet for someone else and they have information in two separate columns and you want it into one?
Oh, that happens all the time. We have an old mainframe system that we pull things out of, and it's so frustrating because things aren't how I need them.
Right. Well, there's ways to fix them. We have a lot of text functions within Excel. So notice I have the spreadsheet here.
Okay.
And I have a first name and last name column. Now, most of the time when you're setting up a database, it makes sense to have the first name and last name separate. But maybe you want a column that puts those two names together for other purposes that you're going to use their names for. So we're going to go into column E where I've set up for a full name.
Okay.
And we're going to use a function called concatenate. So we're going to click there in cell E3.
All right.
And we're up on our ribbon in the formulas ribbon. And you'll notice right below there you have the text function. So let's click on the drop down there.
The yellow book.
The yellow book. And notice it says concatenate.
There we go.
So let's click on concatenate.
Boy, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
say that 5 times real fast.
You're dripping all over it.
All right, so notice it tells us that we can put up to 255 text strings together. We just have 2.
Right.
So we're
Not
going to
255.
Not 255. So first we're going to get the information in C3. That's the first name.
Okay.
Now we need to tell Excel to put a space in between the first and the last name. So under text 2,
Okay.
you're just going to type a quote and a space and a quote.
Okay.
All right, and then text 3, come back down to text 3, and you can put D3 there. All right, and we'll click OK. And you'll notice it came in, and we can copy that formula down.
All right. Let's see. Make sure it's selected, and then get my cross in the bottom right-hand corner, and there we go.
Now, there's
Something's weird with
yeah,
that.
there's something weird going on. What do you think is going on there?
It looks like a really wide space in between those. I'm not sure, but I would have to go turn on my non-printing characters, but maybe there's 2 spaces in there?
It looks like we got some extra spaces, which if you're
Yeah.
pulling something out of another system, sometimes there are extra spaces. Sometimes even in a spreadsheet, somebody hit the space key and they didn't need to, and so we end up with extra spaces. So we can take those out. We have a text function called trim.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're going to need another column to do this trim function in. So let's add a column. Do you remember how to do that?
Yes, I do. I am going to right-click on column F and choose Insert.
Right. I'll move everything over to the right and give us a new column there at F. And we'll click there in cell F3.
Okay.
And this time we're going to use the trim function. And we can click on the drop down up there on our formulas tab for text. Okay, so we're looking for trim. There it is. Let's click on trim. Notice it says removes all spaces from a text string except for single spaces between words.
Because we need that.
We do need the single
Okay.
space. So we're going to come out there and we're going to select cell E3 and click OK. And now that looks a little better, doesn't
That
it?
looks tons better.
And how do I get it to the rest of them?
And then I'll just copy that down.
Sure.
And,
there we go.
that looks a lot better. This looked kind of funky.
Right.
So that looks a lot better.
Now I notice in this spreadsheet we also have phone numbers. And in a lot of companies, the last 4 digits are actually an extension number
To use internally.
to use internally.
Yep.
So sometimes you want to pull that information and have it as a separate column in your spreadsheet. We have functions that allow you to pull from the left side of the cell entry, from the middle of the cell entry, or from the right. And we want to pull the last 4 digits from the right.
Okay.
So you can use left or mid, very similar to this, but we're going to use the right function.
Okay, that makes sense.
So in this case, we could go back up there to the text drop down on the formulas tab, or we can just start typing. We know that we can do that too. So let's just type here, equals right. And then you want to select the function, and which cell are we trying to pull the data from?
We are going to start with this one right here.
Right. And then notice it says we need to tell it how many characters. So we need a comma to separate that. And then how many characters from the right are we pulling?
We will want 4 characters.
Correct. So we'll type in 4 and hit enter. And notice it just pulls those last 4 digits. And if you copy it down,
Let's do that.
there you go.
Oh, that's perfect.
All right. Now, most of the times we use text functions because data comes to us in some weird, hokey way or strange way, and we're trying to figure out how to fix it. So I have another spreadsheet that I want to bring up, and it's that shipping one right there. Notice the names. A lot of times you pull information maybe off of the internet, and it's all caps.
It's screaming at us.
It's screaming at us, yes. And you know, in Word, you have a way to change that with just a quick formatting. In Excel, we can use a text function to change that. So let's skip over to column F, kind of keep a separation out here. And the function that we can actually use to change this is called proper. And what proper does is it capitalizes every word, but the rest of the letters are lowercase.
All right, so just the first one has a capitalized letter.
Every word within it. So if I had a text string, let's say it said Mary had a little lamb, then the M in Mary and the H in had and so forth would be capitalized, but everything else would be lowercase. In this case, for our names, it's perfect because we want the first letters capitalized, but we don't want anything else capitalized.
Absolutely.
So this is called proper.
Okay.
So we'll do equals proper, or you can go up and click on text in the formulas tab. Let's do that. We haven't done that in a while. And you see proper there. They're in alphabetical order. There it is. And so we want to tell it what cell we're bringing that from. So where are we going to do that?
C2.
C2. So we're going to click there. And then we're just going to click OK.
All right. There she is.
And there she is. Now you can copy that formula down. That's good enough for right now. And then if you wanted to, you could copy that formula to the right.
Okay. Oh, nice. I can just go ahead and bring that down as well.
Right. And it took care of your capitalization issue.
That is perfect.
Now, if for some reason it came in and you wanted it uppercase, there's a similar function called upper.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted it lowercase, there's a function called lower.
All right. So no matter how we have the original text, we can manipulate that. So if we need it in some other format, whether it's upper, lower, or with the proper uppercase at the beginning of each word, we can manipulate that.
That's correct.